when all he wants to talk about is sex. We're going to talk about it too. But before we do...
And we're Terrence and Jill of God-Ordained Union. And our purpose here is simple. We want to help increase a God-Ordained Union.
Yes, yes, yes. So if this is your first time on our channel and you're single, we were there before. We were single and not too long ago. We've only been married, what?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. And before we got married, yeah, we were in the single season, and it seemed like a long time. It seemed like God had forgotten about us, or maybe God didn't want us to be married. We were wondering what was wrong with us, and
if we were too old,
if we'd
done something that made God mad.
Yes,
we felt like we're the only ones going through it.
Right.
No, we feel exactly what you've been feeling.
Yes, yes. So if you are desiring marriage and it hasn't come yet, you are definitely on the right channel. So please subscribe, turn on your notifications to learn more about us and when we go live. And you want to learn about our one-on-ones, our private groups, our prayer calls, all that good stuff. Go right down to the description. You'll find our website, God-Ordained.com, God-Ordained.com. And yeah, go check us out. All right. So we're going to jump right in because this is, first of all, if you are a super Christian, I'm not going to say Christian, super church goer, and you follow a stringent set of church rules, and no, you don't talk about sex or any of that, this is probably not the video for you. So you might want to turn it off right now because we got to talk about this. So I was scrolling through the TT this morning, and one of the influencers that I follow, she said, I got time today. She said, I have to share something with you all, and especially to you men. This is a message to you men. She said, I'm just, what she said, I'm appalled that the only conversation you have is sex. She said, it's not becoming of you. It's a turn off. And don't nobody just want to talk about sex all the time. And so we want to talk about this because we hear this a lot, especially those who are like online dating and they're getting to know, a prospect. And then all of a sudden the sex conversation just jumps out of nowhere. And, on online dating, it probably starts with send me some more pictures. That's how it starts. And then the sex conversation just comes out of nowhere. And it is a turnoff. It is a turnoff. I can't say I've experienced that a lot, but I've had one or two that tried it. And so we want to talk about it. And I'm going to get out the way because I want to hear from a male point of view. Like, because it ain't all men.
No, it's not all men. But I will say this. It's probably one of the main reasons is probably because that's all they want from you.
That's all they want.
That's all they want.
You just want a sexual relationship.
I would suggest you just pay attention in the very beginning and try to look for signs to see what he's talking about, what he's hinting about, to see if y'all have something in common. I mean, don't get me wrong. When we first meet somebody, you just don't know what their intent is. Mm-hmm. But there are signs probably that you can look for to help you know if this is what the person is looking for.
Yeah.
And like I said, and if the guy is like, if he's like sloppy with it, you should be able to tell that right off the gate. If he ain't got the conversation, you know what I mean? You should be able to tell that right off the gate.
Which goes back to what we always talk about. You got to really know what you want, because if not, you'll entertain anybody. Especially for women who don't get a lot of attention. Women who don't get a lot of attention and somebody approach them and they don't know. they thinking maybe this is how, they just they don't have a lot to compare to. So, and those types of men can smell naive green women, especially women who have low self-esteem, and all they want is sex. Oh, they coming for you.
Yeah,
okay.
So that would be the first thing. The second thing I would say is he's probably the guy that told you in the beginning, I'm just looking for somebody to kick it with. And you said, okay. So guess what? You opened the door for him to say, let me walk up on in here.
And y'all started kicking it.
And you started kicking it.
And now you want something serious.
Yeah, because when a guy says he's just wanting to kick it, he just want to kick it or find somebody to hang with.
That's really
what he's talking about. He's talking about that's almost his word for saying, I want friends with benefits. Because until I find the woman that I think I want to spend the rest of my life with, I just want somebody that's going to be friends with benefits. That way he ain't have to look for no responsibility, but he's going to be able to enjoy all the benefits of having a woman in his life.
You know what the scary part of that, though, is you're kicking it and you thinking that, because you already let your guards down, you probably already did it and all this, and y'all kicking it. And then, but you come to the point where I want something more. And he said in the beginning, well, I just said I wanted to kick it. This is the scary part of that, because he can find the one while he's kicking it with you. He can find the one, and he doesn't even have to get sex from. He totally respects the one he feels the one is.
You're helping him be the perfect gentleman.
You helping him because he's getting his physical needs met, friends with benefits with you, and he's totally respecting.
He's telling her, I'm not in a rush. We need to slow down.
Look, we good. I'm going to build this thing. He probably looking for the perfect ring, and he knows she the one. He know you not the one, but you're the one that he's kicking it with.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. The scary part. So, yeah.
So you got to watch that.
Ooh, number 3.
Number 3, I would say, is you have to watch the type of energy you're giving out. Because sometimes you are attracting it based upon how you're presenting yourself. Or are you flirting, and then you're trying to stop him when he won't stop.
Yeah.
So in other words, don't start it if you don't want it to go there. That way it's a less of an issue.
Which is
you got to be really careful with that one.
Which is a whole women's movement empowerment issue, because, women feel like, I should be able to wear what I want, and I should be able to, and men should not, have no say in, or they should be able to respect me. But there's a thin line. I mean, if you're walking around this man and you go on a date and it's, and you in booty shorts, or y'all say y'all first or second, third date is at the beach and you got on, a bikini, like you could be attracting, you're attracting his sexual desire.
Here's the thing. I agree. Women should be able to wear what she wants. Okay. But what you also don't understand is sometimes it's not what you're wearing. What you're wearing might be like the visual thing, but then it's what you're speaking.
And it's the energy that's coming.
It's the energy and what you're speaking that tells him it's okay to stay in this area of conversation, even long after you're telling him that you're not interested or you're getting kind of turned off by that. He's going to keep pushing the envelope, and it's probably because of the way you're speaking.
Yeah, because there's a lot of women who, they will lead a horse to lead them to the water, and then they stop them before they drink, try to drink. And so it could be flirting. It could be, it also could be a spirit of lust on you that is attracting him. And you don't may even realize. You could be fully clothed. You could be, it could be a spirit of lust on you that makes him feel like he can continue to go after you for sex. It could be flirting. It could be, yeah, it could be subtle flirting. It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm not putting the whole blame on the woman. I'm not doing that. But yeah.
You have to just know this, okay? Before I go to the next, just know this, that everything you do, there's a reaction to it. So you just have to be mindful of what you're doing. And once you get to that point, you just got to be firm about it. Because, look, ain't nothing wrong with leaving a date. You can say, he ain't listening. I done said no. He keep on. Boom. It's time to get into my car and go home.
Right. Or end the conversation. If it's a phone conversation, it's time to end the phone conversation.
Absolutely. You can get, you
and don't call them again.
Yeah. You don't have to keep staying there and just letting them offend you or disrespect you or what have you, which goes to the very next one. The next one is you ain't set the boundaries.
Yeah, you haven't set a standard.
And we did a video a couple months ago where we talked about it's even harder to get someone to stop once you've allowed them to do something disrespectful. So set the boundaries in the beginning. Yeah. That way you don't have to worry about that. If he doesn't want to follow your boundaries, you can almost end that right then.
Yeah, yeah. And boundaries you could tell by someone's photos that you're just not going to disrespect that person. You're just not. I remember a guy, it was a little young guy. And I want to say it was at work. It was a work activity. And he tried to, it was a flirt. It was a flirt. And it wasn't anything that I need to go to HR about. But I told him, don't you ever think you can talk to me like that, ever. I'm sorry, Ms. Morris. This is when I was single. I'm sorry, Ms. Morris. I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything about it.
I was going to say, if it's like you was married, don't make me go down there.
Now they know. But I said, don't you ever think you could disrespect me. And he probably said, hey, I like that dress you wear, Miss Morris. It could have been something as innocent as that. But I was like, don't you ever disrespect me again. Don't you ever. And so, but that was my, call it mean mugging, but there was a level of a standard that you cannot cross me. Now, no online dating, I did come across those. Right. Like I did come across those. And the first, send me more pictures. No. The 5 pictures I got up there is going to be it. No. Delete.
Yeah.
That was the first. As soon as they said, can you send me stuff? Yeah. Hey, how you doing? I just get to, you got any more pictures? Dude, you ain't going to be, doing your thing and becoming wet with no. Because they do that too. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I would say this right here is something that I think people don't think about, but it is a very true thing. And that is you can be stuck in a cycle.
You keep attracting
now,
that.
What do I mean? What do I mean by being stuck in a cycle? You're stuck in a cycle when you should be learning something from this particular relationship, but you're not. So the next guy you attract, the next guy you meet, different name, same issue.
Because same energy, same spirit.
You're going through the same thing over and over again. And until you learn that lesson that you need to learn, it seems like at that point, you're going to continue to attract the same type of guys. Different name again. But you might go through 2 or 3 guys in a row because you're repeating the same lesson. So you have to learn it. So that's why we share about going all in. So you can learn whatever it is you're learning from this relationship. Right. Learn it, whether it works out or not. Be intent about learning what you need to learn because it's going to get you prepared for the next one. And that next one could be it. So you want to make sure you're ready. So don't just gaff it off. And when the relationship over, you don't take the lessons from that relationship. Because if not, don't be surprised if the very next person you meet, you go through the same scenarios all over again.
Yeah. And let's be clear. It's a difference. We're talking about We're talking about you're getting to know somebody and they're on their frontal is sex. Mm-hmm. They really ain't got no real desire to get to know you even more or better. They just really want sex. Yeah. There's a difference between that and you're getting to know somebody and you had a human moment.
Yeah.
There's a difference. There is a difference. I like to believe there's a difference. Yeah. And so, and you had a human moment and you both were like, wait a minute now, maybe we shouldn't have did that, you know? But there are some guys that's what they want. They want sex for whatever reason with you and they gonna press it and gonna keep going back if they think that they can.
Yeah, and I just, look, call me old school. I just think that it's 2025 and it should be easy or easier for women to catch on to guys if that's all they got on their mind.
Yeah.
It should be easy because it ain't about having game. It's about, you should be very disappointed in the lack of conversation. Yeah. Or the lack of depth in their conversation.
Right.
To the point where you can pinpoint, see, you're trying to waste my time.
Yeah, you know? Yeah.
And so just listen and catch on to that, because if that's all they want and you're letting them get away with it, they're going to keep on.
I love when you tell a story about you have met this woman, because let's turn it the other way. Because there's some women, that's all they want from, they dealing with lust, and that's what they want from the man. And you said you was talking to this woman, and she was like, you just want, what'd she say? Let's just go ahead and get it over with.
Oh yeah. There was a woman that I knew that thought that's what I wanted from her. And she actually called and said, well,
why did she think that? Y'all were talking?
She had this thing she thought all men wanted. That's what they wanted from women. And I guess she had been going through that with the last few guys she had been dating. And
so y'all were talking on the phone?
We was on the phone talking, and she was like, you know what? You're just like all the other guys. That's all you want. So I'm just going to come over there.
What made her say that?
Look, I can't tell you that because I know I didn't say anything to her about that. Anyway, that's when I said, you know what? Yeah, you're not the one for me. That was it for me.
What'd she say? Let's just come. She's
like, I'm gonna just come over there so we can get this over with. And I was like, nah, that's okay. You stay where you are. That is not what I need. That ain't what I'm looking for. Nah, that's okay.
Wow. Yeah, so, it's a lot of women who are really aggressive with men, and they like.
So I knew that whatever she was hurt by, she was still hurt. She never recovered. She never been delivered from whatever it was. I was like, nah, that's okay.
Nah. She pushed away a good man.
Wow.
It wasn't God-Ordained.
It was not.
It was not God-Ordained. Yeah. Yeah, so that's I think that's if you keep coming across men that's all I do is talk about sex, you're probably caught in a cycle. That's what you're probably attracting, and that right there, you probably got to do some introspection. Yeah. Do I have my do I really know what is it just do I have an open door?
Yeah, and now that we're talking about it. It should feel like, at least with the second, if you're in a cycle with the second person, it should feel like a familiar spirit because you've already gone through it before.
Yeah, that's what it is, a familiar spirit.
Did we have this conversation before?
Right.
It's almost like a deja vu type thing.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I keep attracting? Yeah. And at that point, you could shut it down. And some people, let me just be honest, a lot of women, they like that, they like that attention. They mix that with thinking that's an interest in them when it's really just an interest in sex. Mm-hmm. And they don't know the difference. And so they, and although they don't want to do the physical part of it, they like the attention of the guy. Right. and so even that's dangerous.
And that's when you got to know your worth, because sometimes the guy might be a good looking guy. He might have some things going on that attracted you to him. But at the end of the day, you got to say, am I selling my soul?
Yeah.
Am I sacrificing my soul? Am I giving up, too much, too early or whatever? You have to ask yourself those questions before you go forward.
Yeah, you got, and if you can walk away from that, that is the beginning of setting standards.
Absolutely.
That is the beginning of setting boundaries and setting your level of respect. That is the beginning. If you can walk away wholeheartedly and confidently with a man that quote unquote got it going on, but he's pressing you for sex. That's all he seems to be interested in with you is sex. That's the primary thing he's pressing.
That's also the first sign of you saying, I'm showing me that I love me.
Ooh, a form of self-love. Because if you can't love
you, then how can you tell somebody else that they're not loving you correctly?
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. All right. So drop your comments below. Let us know what you think. If that's what you've come across, if you're coming across those types of guys, and it seems like you're coming across those types of guys more often,
and over again,
over and over again. It could be that's what you're attracting. It could be a spirit of lust on you. It could be that there's no standards or no boundaries. It's like an open door.
It could be that's all they want.
It could be just all they want. It could be that you already opened the door and you want more. And they told you in the beginning, I just wanted to kick it with you. So whatever the reason, that spirit is going to continue to come back more and more if you don't do something about it.
No doubt. So with that being said,
yes,
look and see what the word says. Find a good scripture to stand on regarding that. Get delivered from it.
Could be self-control. Yeah. It's a fruit of spirit. Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing you guys in our next video.
Yes. All right. Deuces.